Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 47 of Crucible Solo Self-Found League. Today, I would like to craft some in-game gear for my Archmage Lightning Conduit Hierophant build that I'm playing. But before I get to that, something I only learned about a couple days ago is Disability Pride Month. My disability is not something I have directly mentioned here in over a year. Disability Pride Month is not celebrated to be proud of our disabilities, but rather be proud of the ways we manage to provide value and participate and interact with the world. How many of you watching have I taught how to take an idea you find interesting and make your own builds in Path of Exile, rather than following a guide as is so often recommended, or find value in entertainment or comfort from watching or listening to me play games in my videos? I would not be here making content if not for my disability. I have only recently began to truly accept myself that my condition may be something I live with for the rest of my life. I've been intentionally vague thus far, as some of the experiences and situations I may describe or visual examples of the situation may be disturbing. There are timestamps if you would like to skip ahead. I suffer from what has been best described as cramp fasciculation syndrome. I experience random and involuntary muscle spasms throughout my body at varying intensities, a few times an hour, but as often as many times per minute. From this description, you could even think that someone would have to be having some kind of seizure to experience what I do. And this has been constant throughout my day-to-day for almost 6 years now. Aside from the more invasive muscle spasms, there is constant involuntary muscle activity that can make even the smallest physical tasks daunting, and any prolonged activity can take several days to recover from. Any more than 2 hours on my feet throughout the day is not uncommon to take upwards of 16 hours of rest to recover from the increased activity. It was much worse and violent when it first began happening in my feet in 2017. Not long after this, the same thing began happening through other muscles, all without intent, provocation, desire, or a way to make stop. For over 2 years, it was so difficult to find any sort of comfort at all when, for some uncontrollable reason, twitches sporadically rang out across even the arches of my feet, sensitive areas on your body, not to mention all of the other locations. After many hours a day of this, the muscles became very sore, and that caused pain to increase, as if the spots the muscle twitches were happening were bruised and somebody was like jabbing their finger into a bruise. That's how it felt when like a muscle would contract like that for so many hours a day. The hardest part became my ability to sleep with this happening, to the point I would at times find myself punching locations on my body to make the muscles so numb I could no longer feel anything in those locations to get even an hour or more of comfortable sleep. After days, weeks, months, into years of this, it took a real toll on my mental state, all the while being misdiagnosed with schizophrenia, anxiety, and other mental disorders by doctors that exhibited no genuine care for me, while I had no money or medical insurance in America, as if they were only there to push drugs on me rather than try and solve my issue. It was literal hell. Finally, I found my way to a neurologist who managed to lessen but not completely solve the issue through medication used to treat seizures, allowing me to regain some sort of semblance of a normal life, though it is still persistent and a constant part of my daily life in a large way. I still to this day do not know what caused the issue, whether it is truly more of a mental or physical issue at its core, or even any real hope that I may someday be able to go back to what life was before. The thing I miss the most is being able to get in my car and escape any and everything at my own will. Driving and listening to music, going wherever, whenever, was the most free I've ever felt. That's something I can't do anymore because of the possibility of my legs seizing up while in control of the vehicle and the potential danger that can cause not only to myself, but others. Not to mention the constant mental attention that gets drawn to it, as I still feel every bit of it. though it has made me pretty numb to almost anything at this point. How amazing it would be to even go run down the street free of any pain. Something I recently discussed with my brother, who suffers from albinism and is visually impaired, though still has the ability to drive and build stuff all over the state. He said he tries to ignore his limitations and live as normal life as possible, and he does well for himself. I wish I had the ability to block out the mental recognition of the muscle spasms I feel that consumes a portion of my daily mental energy and focus. It has been a really rough few years, and it is still really difficult to convey what it is like to experience the things that I do and how they affect me. Then after all of this said and experienced, I've been denied disability benefits after countless tests and hearings on 4 different occasions. So the system put in place to assist someone going through extraordinary circumstances like me has also let me down. I'm extremely grateful to my family for keeping me fed and giving me a place to live all these years with nothing in return. They also continue to aid where they can, slowly helping me upgrade peripherals to help me try and keep making better content here on YouTube. Which brings me to gaming, Path of Exile, and YouTube. Path of Exile is a game I played very casually before this all started happening to me. Sometime after the 2018 Winter Olympics, I started trying to play video games again. I could go into more detail about any of this at another time, but I dabbled in some Fortnite, which ended up pushing me back to the computer from the Xbox on the couch, as I hope to have better control in the game. However, it became frustrating because I could not focus as much as I needed to do well against other players in real time in that kind of environment. Then I went to trying to play StarCraft 2 co-op for a couple of weeks, where there was not as much at stake. While I felt I was doing decently well at that, I could not get my actions per minute above 60, and the amount of buttons and controls was daunting for me. Now, during those couple years, I spent a great deal of time watching people play Super Mario Maker on YouTube, playing these really difficult levels, which also gave great entertainment value in watching them die in crazy ways. I tried to play some of these Mario levels myself and very quickly discovered this was not possible for me. Even 10 to 20 seconds of precision inputs with little to no margin for error, trying to force myself to hold focus for that long a time and execute the movements, nothing felt more impossible, and I would go into full body sweats even attempting it. I bring this all up because when I was in college, I played drums in the marching band, in which I could precisely hit drums with sticks at upwards of 100s of inputs per minute while marching around a field with my feet in time and 30 pounds of drums attached to me. I was seeing very firsthand how much my abilities had diminished from these uncontrollable muscle spasms. Then I started playing Path of Exile again late in the Harbinger League into Incursion League. I could go at my own pace, create whatever I wanted, and anytime I failed, I could try again. Something I was not expecting was how good it would feel to find really rare items and currency. Some of the first really genuine, joyous excitement I had felt in years. I wanted more, I needed more, and Path of Exile delivered in droves. In spite of everything, I found a way to have an enjoyable experience and even some fun. By the end of Betrayal League, I made my first build guide because I felt like I was doing things in the game no one else was, and I needed to share it. This was around the same time the neurologist I saw began to help me make progress in controlling the muscle spasms. Shortly after, I made my Archmage Indigron Stormbrand build that blew my channel up a bit, allowing me to become a YouTube partner over 4 years ago now. Path of Exile was, and still is, a great escape and distraction from it all. I got pretty good at playing the game, and pushed myself to my limits, attempting to compete with some of the biggest video game tryhards in the world. It took me a while to learn about monetizing videos and really take a dive into trying to be a creator. It seemed like a good venture for me because I would not be at any risk of harming myself or others given my condition. There were no deadlines or anything at stake outside of what I do and create. If I have a flare-up of muscle spasms and need to spend 2 days in bed resting, it's okay. So from there, I tried to approach things like anyone else would, trying to upload as often as I can, taking little tidbits of advice from various other creators I have watched over the years, spending way too much time thinking about titles and thumbnails and what big thing I can try to do next. More recently, I've been really focusing on my own time management, trying to get better at video editing and refining the process so that I can best make the most enjoyable, educational, and entertaining content I can. So, to wrap this up, what makes me really proud is that many of you watching have come here because of the content I have created and will continue to make, most not knowing anything about the struggles that brought me here. That is what Disability Pride Month is about to me, and why I felt I should say my little bit. My disability is not something I talk about often because it is not what I want to be defined by. I want to continue to fight back and create a space for myself in this world where I can try my best to give value to others. If you would like to help me in that mission, the best way I have for you to be able to support me is by becoming a member here on YouTube. That gets you full access to my Discord server, including early access to videos, should I get them done early. And I finally have replaced the default member badges, though more as a placeholder for something when I can get an actual artist to create what I'm looking for there. Thank you for any support you have given me over the years, whether it be from watching and liking the videos alone. I greatly appreciate it all, and I see no path other than onward, upward, and beyond. I can't state enough how valuable this channel has been for me as a creative outlet and something to invest my time into the past several years. Now, I would like to continue on with business as usual. I want to go over my settings for how I play the game and craft some in-game gear for my Archmage Lightning Conduit build. So it might be crazy to some of you that, like, knowing how many inputs and things are required to play this game, and I do so with like very minimal physical movement outside of my hands and wrists and whatnot. The way I have all of my keybinds set up, I can do everything with my hand pretty much placed, and my wrist will almost never move on the keyboard. I can do everything just within the sprawl of my fingers. And the same with the mouse. My mouse cursor is set to 2000 DPI, which might seem incredibly high to you, but I can move my mouse from corner to corner of my screen with just this movement right there. That's all it takes. So everything I do in game is all very precisely controlled. Not as much with my wrist as you might think. It's kind of the pinch between my thumb and ring finger on the mouse, and I will like push and like roll my fingers back and forth, sometimes within my wrist motion, to get more precision control over a specific area. So it's not even all in my wrist that I'm moving my mouse, it's almost more just my fingers all the time. All the clicks and stuff I do, it's all there. So as far as keybinds go in game, I still have my flasks all set to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I have like a middle mouse button, my right click mouse button, Q, W, E, and R for my other abilities here, and then A, S, D, and F for my offhand abilities like auras, and then mouse 5 here I have set on my mouse so that I can flame dash. So my hand sits on my keyboard with my pinky resting on 1. It'll never move from that spot unless it needs to push the Q button, which only happens if I have 2 movement skills in this game. So it sits there, and my tilde button just to the left of the 1 key is my map. So I toggle the map back and forth with this. And I use this overlay map so often I don't even have the map shown. When I turn the map off, this gives me the best ability to take screenshots with my mouse. One of my side buttons on my mouse is set up to take screenshots. Now, I'm using this HyperX Pulsefire Raid. I have 5 different buttons on the side of my mouse that I use for different reasons. But here, my mouse 5 button hasn't changed at all. I press F8, that takes a screenshot in Path of Exile. F7, I have bound to log me out from anywhere on my PC. I can press that button on my mouse. Normally operates as your back button. It will log me out of Path of Exile. That's my logout macro. And then I originally had these top keys to use Sentinels and Sentinel League, but I haven't done anything else with them since then. So looking at other keybinds here, Tim's skill 1 and 2, this is for flares and dynamite and delve. So that would be your T skill normally, and I don't know what the Y button is used for, but I can reach over there with my pointer finger and push T and Y at this, like, in one swift motion, which is most time I would ever need a flare. It's because I need a dynamite right after it. So I push T and Y like that for those. So then there's all the other skills. I have one bound to my spacebar, one bound to mouse 5, and then A, S, D, and F. Attack in place, I never use. I have tab set for weapon swap, as it actually tabs between two things. I find that just easier to comprehend, and that's up there as well, that I can easily access. The Alt key to highlight items and objects, I can push with my thumb, as it's just left of the mouse button. Corpse targeting I never use, so I just have that set to something random. Character screen is still set to C. I can press that with my thumb as well. And then most of the stuff I don't use, but inventory is set to F1. I can press that by just extending my finger up rather than having to press the I key somehow on my keyboard. And most of these other things you don't use often, but then there is the passive skill tree is on F2. Atlas skill tree is F3. And then the Atlas itself is on G. So all of these buttons I can get to without ever moving my pinky off of the one button. I can get to every single one of those buttons, including the V key, the League interface thing. Everything that I easily need, it's all right there. And then I'm using F4 to toggle the metrics. So looking at this kind of stuff, I can do that there too. And then my join hideout buttons on F5 there. So that's how I pretty much control the game. I almost have no physical movements at all outside of like the key presses and the button presses. And it all happens with like very minimal hand movement at all. And yeah, the control key, is the time I will move my pinky off the button, but I push it with the part of my hand right here is how I push the control key. A lot of people like set up on their keyboard will have their middle finger like on W, ASD, and will push buttons like shift and control with their pinky. I can't do it. I can't do it. So I've kind of just optimized everything so I can just like keep my hands in the same spot so I don't have to do as much work physically. And it all works out pretty well. All right, so let's re-gear this character now. I think the gloves are pretty locked in here with mana, cold lightning, chaos res. I have a prefix to craft. I'm just going to slap those on. That's going to be part of the equation. I need boots that are solidly locked in. I don't know about this, but it's something I can work off of, as well as helmet might take some ridiculous crafting efforts as well. And then I'll try and leave this amulet up to reroll any resistances I need, as well as a belt. So I think maybe the helmet is something I go for first, just to see what I can get. I could just go with this like heavy energy shield helmet with a little bit of mana. Has a resist craft location on it. It's a bunch of energy shield. It amounts to a lot, and there is a energy shield mastery for 100% increased energy shield from equipped helmet. So that could be very huge. But then let's just take off all of the other gear, leaving the belt, I guess, for the strength. And I need this ring for the dex currently. So looking at resistances, I'm over on lightning res, need a lot of fire res. And once boots are actually locked in, I can go run lab, get mana regeneration rate if you've cast a spell recently. And since this is an Archmage build, like I spend a lot of mana, I need a lot of mana recovery, so I'll be going after that. These boots are intriguing as they are right now. with the life and the mana. I am going to need life because I need to reserve that life to get that extra energy shield. And I'm not going to be able to do anything about the shield yet at all. I can change the craft, but that's about it. So I guess here, if I were to craft fire res on this, that gets me closer. 10%, it's still a long way out. It looks like the belt needs the cold and lightning res, but it also needs strength. These boots were to also have fire res. Both of them gave me 35 first try. That gets me within 30. That's acquirable on the ring or whatever I do with the belt. And I'm curious, I do not have 446 unreserved life currently. This was going to be an issue as I had life on all of these pieces of gear outside of the ring. But in terms of ring, I also remember that I could use another Lori's Lantern. I need to try to find one that's rolled really well. Look for a prismatic ring. Only 2 in here. But do I have any across all of the uniques? There's 1. 10%, 24 chaos. That's acceptable. This one is min rolled. Well, it's a 1 in 24 on the roll with the divines, so that's not worth. I can bless it though. That's all res. Catalysts I do not have to raise the all res. That's something I could definitely farm for and is something I'm going to borrow from my other character for the time being, because I want that extra for all res to just see where things are at. Something I would definitely grind for because that's a pretty big thing there. But that is going to make damage of enemies hitting you unlucky. So they roll twice, takes the lowest value. My mana is over 5,000 now with that. This helmet really could be re-rolled. Really could. I guess the really big question now, though, is what to do about conductivity. I have conductivity on hit on this ring, along with dexterity that is needed for my current shield. And I also have this jewel socket. Somebody mentioned to me that I have this jewel, right? I am running Tempest Shield. Put this in. Ailment immunity. Ta-da! No ignites, no shock, freeze, sap, none of it. I like that. It's not 100% necessary. I could get damage there. I could get more mana there. There's a bunch of stuff I could do. I could put the healthy mind in there and turn all of these 3% lives into 6% mana, getting all the way up into here for melding. Like, that's another decent thing I could do with it. That would make these nodes a lot more appetizing. Ooh, I wonder if it changes the max life as energy shield. Probably not. Let's look. No, it's still max life as extra ES, which is okay. I do have a decent chunk of life. Having life helps because the more I reserve, the more energy shield I get from the chest. So Storm Shroud seems like a good call there, because for some reason I never socketed anything in it. Let's see then. On a Hypnotic Eye Jewel, I can get flat mana. That's almost enough just to commit to the Stygian Vise right there alone. Phasing Chance. Ooh, flat mana regen? Okay. This might be some actual crafting project. Increased effect of lightning ailments. That's also nice. Fractured effect of lightning ailments. So I probably want energy shield mana prefixes. Suffix lightning ailments plus what? Is that where the flat mana regen is? 5% elemental damage synthesized on one as well. Mana regen is a prefix. 83 item level on this. Let's pull up Craft of Exile and see. More jewels. Hypnotic Eye Jewel. A lot of things that can roll on these. Max mana is item level 83 requirement. Mana regen per second only goes up to 4. So it's that or energy shield. Probably want the mana. Suffixes. Lightning ailments. Mana regen while moving. And then there's resistances. 2% elemental penetration if you haven't killed recently. That is very good for bosses. I think I go with the mana regen while moving, just to make it as simple as possible, and I know it's going to require Lucent Fossils. Regardless, try 3-socket Resonator. Dense, Lucent, Pristine, most efficient there. Serrated, Sanctified, Lucent. Also see what fossils I have here. I have 12 Lucent. I have 2 Serrated, more attack, fewer caster mods, and Sanctified. I have 2 Sanctifieds. I'm willing to give that a shot. It has the highest odds of hitting this jewel, 1 in 359 tries. But that is with the T1 mana and all of it. It gave me the T1 mana, but try again. And we have mana regen while moving. So that's a no. Corroded plus a metallic. Now that's solid. I think if I just used metallic, it would open up a lot more for the spells and stuff. But with the corroded fossil, I can still get the ailment chance without the possibility of lightning res, lightning spells. But I'm okay with those things, so I might actually go for the metallic. I have a bunch, though according to this, just Lucent is better for hitting what I want of that. So I think that might be the actual way. And I only have 10 potents, so. But I'm also losing my Lucents for anything else, so I gotta be careful not to spin them all here maybe. Because I could use Lucent fossils on this hubris circlet with dense fossils and try and hit a bigger mana with a T1 energy shield, but at the same time, it's already 316 energy shield helmet. So let's at least get something on this. Not that one. No mana mods at all? Okay. Mana regen, phasing, a better mana regen while moving, a little bit, a very smidge of lightning damage while holding a shield, and effective cold ailments. Okay, so I think that'll work. We'll commit to that one for the time being. So then I need Stygian Vise. That looks like it's gonna need fire, cold, strength, but any resistance can work because I can convert them with the harvest bench. So knowing that makes me want to look for essences, strength. They have 19 Essence of Rage. And then I guess before doing that, scour it. Use a Fertile Catalyst so it can hit the mana and get big. As far as the mana essence, I can't guarantee mana on it. Oh, I could guarantee 69 to 77 mana on this helmet. Okay, belt first. Strength. Then let's hit. We need resistances with the strength. Anything beyond that I could adjust and work with. Good energy shield. Yeah, one resistance is not going to work. It has to be 2. Reduce flash charges used is a suffix. Hit mana though. Like, how do I get out of that? Way up on lightning. And I have okay. Wait. I need a scouring. I think this is how this works. Take a map. Need to lower my cold res. Don't need that. And I'm missing skill gems. Important skill gems. Like the one that shocks stuff. Okay, there we go. Shock stuff. And blow up the shocks. Build's been a lot of fun so far. Extra challenge of working Archmage into it. Okay, but then now I can open this. Do I need to move the scouring out to this side of my inventory maybe? So that I can... How do? If I select it from here... Then I scour it. Aha! And it turned off orbs. Oh, and I was wearing the new belt the whole time. Okay. That's what's heavy fire res crafted. Oh, no. Wrong gloves. I was like, I thought it was going to be closer. And I changed this into fire chaos res. Turn my stuff back on. So now resistance wise, 84, 124. That is the lightning res that's on this ring. Now this is a big if. Oh, there's a Crusader ring. That's not a base I want. But Crusader. Yeah, only the one ring. Unless there's one in here. Oh, it's another Sapphire, though. That's okay, though, because I guess that can free up the cold res that's on this, really opening it up to craft. Like, if I put this in here, how many defense rerolls do I have? Like 200 something? So I could remake this T1 energy shield roll. Okay, I want to see another belt. Hit this again. Strength Essence. Bigger mana, Ellie with attack skills, fire res. That's pretty crazy. Hit it with the annul. It took off what I wanted it to take off as well. So that gives me full range on this. For resistances, chaos res against damage over time would be very huge. Okay, I think I might like this belt even better. It's got better mana. Go ahead and put this in there. But yeah, they just kind of flip the resistance. Alright, I'm down with that. So that's freedom there. For the lightning res that gets removed off of this, probably. Now, I guess let's make sure. Go back to Craft of Exile. Get rings. And Crusader Influence. First enemies with conductivity on hit. It's rare. It's very rare. And then what else do I want on it? I want a suffix of mana regen, high as it can go. I want mana as high as it can go. Probably not. It's probably not item level. Well, it probably is item level 85 actually. And then what is that? How does that take with fossils? Very yikes. Lucent Bound Aetheric. Lucent Bound there. Lucent Aetheric is better. I have Bound. I have one Aetheric. This one is 85. Bless it first. One try with the Aetheric. No. Get the mana regen. So this I will use the others for, just to try and get this with right here with the fossils. That's the easiest way to go about it. No. That's also a no. That hit mana regen. Is cool, but not what I'm looking for. So Bound has a better chance at the curse. I could use the bounds there. Probably better than trying to force mana regen rate. What options do I have here? Reforged Caster. That's a really good play. Try that. Life per enemy hit with spells. Cast speed. Reduced effective curses on you. The mod from Crusader as well. Conductivity on hit. Mana cast speed. Open prefix. No dexterity. I can craft dexterity on the belt. That's not ideal. I think I try to annul off the regen and it took the conductivity. Okay, we'll just do this again because it did hit. Caster limits it to cast speed, spell damage, life per enemy hit with spells, reduced effective curses, and conductivity. So this is definitely a solid chance. A lot of rarity. I wish. Cast speed, mana regen, lightning damage. Conductivity, lightning res, intelligence. Cold to attacks. Also not dexterity. Go again. Conductivity, lightning damage per power charge, and 2 bad suffixes. A null orb, here we go. That was one of them. Life per enemy killed is also pretty useless. Lightning damage per power charge is pretty cool. Go for the 1 and 3 here. Nope. Rip. Try again. Oh, next one. Lightning res, accuracy, fire to attacks. No, go again. We can do better. Okay. That's better. That is indeed better. Lightning damage for power charge, reduced effective curses on you, strength, conductivity, open spot for mana, no mana regen on that though. So I'm losing a big mana regen, but that is so good. And then I have to put flat mana there. Okay, I need 9 dexterity. I know how to get it to, just unfortunate. Take out insightfulness and 1 node there. Take these 2 nodes, 20 dexterity and 10% cast speed on the way. Probably don't need might anymore, so it's only 1 point in the end. That gets me closer to sanctity, which is 1% ES regen and 10% ES and 10 strength. So now fire res needs to be lightning on the belt. Fire into lightning. It rolled low as well, but I think that should be okay. It is. Both are at 84. 27 on the chaos. I did get some extra mana regeneration from the jewel. I can go get, these boots could still be crazier. This only needs the fire res. Oh, we're in a solid spot here. I also still need to figure out the life for clarity. Could be done with the gloves. Very much would like to know though, what happens if I slap this with mana. 65 to 68. Okay, so yeah, definitely the shriekings. I mean, going up to 77, that's so much. This gives me attempts. No. Okay, I got 16 more tries. Probably shouldn't use all of these here, though. Big int would work. No. No. Yikes. 65 energy shield. 5 tries left. That's 268 with better mana. Nah, that can be better. Yes, recharge rate. No. Extra mana. Extra flat with mana. That's... no, not it. Hit T2. Oh, there it is. There it is. 305. Be divined. Wait, how did it... Oh, it was... Okay, so it was T1. T2 with T2 mana and lightning res. Open suffix. Lightning goes to fire. Easy enough. It also min rolled. Okay, I'm going to take this fire and turn it back to lightning. It gave me 40. And then I'm going to take this lightning and turn it back to fire. Hey, 39. That's an upgrade. All 88s on the resists. And I got reduced effective curses on me. I fixed the dex issue. No, I have not. Not for chain. That's also could be lowered back down. I could also try and reroll the wand. Oh, the wand could be better. I have 4 tries at it right now. Let's see. It can give me cast speed. I don't need the crit multi because I'm using elemental overload. So this is only giving me spell damage and lightning spells. It can give me +1 lightning. It can give me mana. There we go. Oh, and some fire res. Okay. I'll spend another exalt to put the spell damage back on there. Sure. 57? What better? I said better. Better? I spent 4 exalts on it. I hit 57, 56, 56, 57. It can roll 55 to 66. It hit 55. It hit 55. Please. 60. I'll take it. My goodness. Use 6 exalts on that. So I got extra fire res out of the deal. And I craft mana regen on a helmet. I can get life regeneration rate. Where's the mana regeneration rate? I would craft mana regeneration rate on this helmet. Strength and dexterity. I can get the light radius based on energy shield instead of life. Seems like a waste. My character is like a beacon of light. All the lightning strikes. I almost feel like strength and dexterity is the best thing. And eventually it'll give me 25. It'll make me spend like 100 chaos on this. There we go. So then, I need this dexterity node? No. So I get insightfulness back. Do I need this dexterity node? Probably. Yeah. So now I'm really big up on fire res. And then I guess let's finish out all the rest of the gear. I could drop some chaos res here. If I could craft another suffix on the shield, that's better. There's mana regeneration rate there. That's good. Against the block is good. Chance to deal double damage. A bit excessive. Mana regen, I guess. And this takes Alks, so it's gotta be 40. Well, because I took that off, now I can't remove the fire res from the boots. I can still do something on the belt, though. Prefix or suffix. Chaos res against damage over time is so good. Being fully ailment immune, that just protects my mana. So many circumstances. Hit 42, I'll take that. So that leaves the gloves. And I need a life flask. How much life do I have? 392. And I need 446. I don't know that just flat life here is going to cut it. 70? Okay, so 61 do it. No, that only gets me to 410. Yikes. I don't know that that's worth for the slot. I already have increased life nodes. Take these 2 points back out and put them into discipline and training. What does that do? That works. Gets me up to 5291 on the energy shield. Gets me back going with the whole mana regen thing. So the mana cap now is 5768. That went up like 800 something. Don't remember what the energy shield was. But that seems solid. I got quality I can do as well. Squeak out a bit more. I'm actually curious enough that I want to remove the craft and see if I can make this work. No. 441 and it needs 446. I might be able to pull something there. Let's try percent evasion, energy shield, and life. 12. Not enough. By 1. Maybe by 2. But I get 2 more life. Part of it's going to be reserved. So if I make it 14, it's still not enough because I need at least 1 life. 446 is not enough. I could hit a divine on the shield real quick because that's got 80 life on it. With my luck though, it'd still have 80 life on it. That is also fixed by a level of a gym. Ooh, I think there actually is something else even. Life, flat mana per second. There it is. There we go. So yeah, that works. That's really good. Okay. Boots get quality. Extra 4 energy shield there. Then gems and sockets. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I was thinking about de-leveling a chain, but I think instead I'm gonna remove precision. Take this dex back. Yes, mana back. And just keep the chain that I had. Crossblink, and I got 4 open sockets. Still for real. But everything's on. Everything looks good. Big upgrades, and didn't have to really go fight anything. Next step, I guess, is go run lab for these boots. I could have another suffix, which is what? 25 int. You know what? Hey, that's more mana. 5906 now. Not nothing. And then should be pretty big improvements overall. Oh, another thing I could just do real quick. No, I can't do that. I need 100% increased energy shield from equipped helmet. That's something I need. So I guess I'll get that next time once I take it back into maps, start leveling again. Should be solid. Even have this 14 flat life here. Maybe this 5%. Oh, but it's all so close on this life. I gotta fit within 10 life. If I pull out of this, but into 5%, it's not enough by 4. So that could give me more mana and more regen if I would path through that still. Which is looking more enticing now that if I'm taking discipline and training. That Could be here. Oh, I need more regrets. I'm gonna try it. So refund like anything here. Essence extraction. We'll get it back. Connect this. In strength there. More energy shield. Need to remove one more thing. Take this point here. Remove all of these. Essence extraction comes back. Now that's all connected. Where am I sitting here? 441. Need 446. But I just got a bunch of mana regen right there. So I go back to the gloves and return the full life craft to it. Turn on clarity with 3 life to spare. Less energy shield overall at the moment, but so much more mana regen across these nodes. Oh, I lost energy shield because I dropped below 2300 life. I was reserving into the 2300. So that extra like 100 reserved life threshold is worth 30 energy shield. So that extra 30 flat energy shield was getting me up to 5500 before. Now it's not, but it's really all about the mana regen, making that the best it can be. And I think that's all I had on my agenda to get done for today. We'll see how it works next time. That's going to do it for me. I'd like to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, definitely hit the like button as it really helps the channel out a lot. Subscribe to make sure you don't miss more videos from me. If you'd like to help support my channel, please consider using the super thanks, the heart icon just below the video, or by joining to become a member. And I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.